Okay, we are live.
Okay, so we're called to order the September 8th meeting of the Common Council. If you'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, if you'll please call the roll and read the prepared statement.
September 8, 2020. This meeting is being recorded for rebroadcast. We ask everyone to speak clearly one at a time. Please state your name when called upon by the presiding chair. Members of the public can access this meeting by telephone, Zoom, and/or the City of Norwalk YouTube channel. There's a link with specific instructions. Thank you. Mr. Burnett.
Present.
Ms. Johnson.
Present.
Mr. Langella.
Present. Sorry, I was muted.
That's okay, I could see you. Nick, Mr. Sanchinelli.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Hewleman.
Present.
Mr. Roberts.
Present.
Mr. Dumas. Ms. Young.
Here.
Mr. Kides.
He's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Mr. Theodorides.
Here.
Mr. Keegan.
Here.
Mr. Sirenides.
Here.
Mr. Livingston.
Here.
Ms. Shanahan.
Here.
14 present, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 25th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mayor, I'll move those.
Okay, we'll
Ready
move.
for that?
Is several people. So Ms. Smith moved the minutes. Any corrections, deletions, omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are approved unanimously. Next item is public participation. Mr. Manzi, do we have anybody online waiting to participate?
Yes, we do. If you're waiting to speak, please raise your hand electronically and state your name. Someone just had their hand up, but they put it, oh, there it is. Okay, Stuart, you can unmute yourself. Please state your name.
Stuart Garelick. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Mayor Rilling and members of the Common Council, thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. Congregations Organized for a New Connecticut, Connect, is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization of faith institutions from New Haven County that work to get issues of common concern and for the common good. A number of you have attended our local assemblies in Norwalk or nearby in the past. We are privileged to have 7-member congregations in Norwalk proper, as well as other leaders active in Connect who live in Norwalk but worship in another nearby town. Norwalk member congregations are Bethel AME Church, Calvary Baptist Church, Congregation Bethel, Grace Baptist Church, the Guru Teg Bahadur Ji Foundation, Sikh Gurdwara, St. Jerome Catholic Church, and Temple Shalom. I'm here to express our collective sense of outrage and disappointment in the behavior of a significant number of Norwalk police officers before and after.
Mr. Garelick,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but the only items allowed to be addressed at the public participation are the items that are on the agenda. If you have that objection, you can send emails to the Common Council, but for a meeting, the only item that can be addressed in public participation is items that are on the agenda for that evening.
Okay, you know what
thank
I'm
you-
referring
thank you
to.
for your
Is
time.
that gonna come up at all? Will that come up at all during the?
I'm sorry,
I
no, it's not
said,
on,
is this
this
issue
item
gonna
is not on
come
our
up?
agenda.
Okay,
This item is not on our agenda.
Okay, then the statement should be emailed to,
Would be the Common Council. You can reach out through our city clerk, Donna King.
thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Manzi, is there anybody else scheduled to speak?
No, there is not, Mayor.
Ms. King, do you have any correspondence?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda, there are no resignations or appointments to vote on this evening. For my remarks, as you know, the City Hall reopened today for appointment only. If a person wishes to make an appointment with a particular department or a particular person, they are advised to call that department, schedule the appointment, and determine when the appointment can be made, and then the appointment will be scheduled, and the person can come in and have that meeting. Next, as you know, several communities around the state, most specifically Stanford and Danbury, are seeing increases in the coronavirus cases. And we really need to make sure that we continue doing the things that we've done that have been successful so far. I know that there's a lot of concern about high school and youth sports in the city of Norwalk and throughout the state of Connecticut. We have a meeting tomorrow afternoon to try to address that issue. We also have reached out to the governor's staff to get clarification on the position of the state regarding youth sports. We know that the Department of Public Health, as well as the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, have indicated that high-risk sports should not be played, and we're trying to get clarification on that as well. Tomorrow, their free meal distributions are continuing across Norwalk through the end of 2020. Total of 10 sites will be operating through December 31st, providing free meals for any school-aged child in Norwalk. The sites are open from noon until 2 p.m. 4 sites, Bry McMahon High School, Columbus Magnet School, Nathan Hale Middle School, and West Rock School offer additional hours from 3:30 to 5:30. People can find out more information by going on to the city website and to the Norwalk Public Schools website. Tomorrow, the Connecticut Food Bank will be holding a drive-through food distribution event in Norwalk on Wednesday September 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Park, 42 Seaview Avenue. The event will provide approximately enough food for approximately 50,000 meals. It includes fresh fruit and vegetables, milk, and non-perishable items. And as a result of that food drive tomorrow, the boat ramps at Vets Park will be closed, but will reopen the following day. As you know, school started today. We wish the teachers and the students and the faculty and the staff well. We wish them a successful school year. It's going to be a different school year with certain grades going to be attending Monday through Friday. Other grades will be a hybrid model, where some days they'll be teaching, there'll be distance learning, and other days they'll be in school. It's a challenge. We want to thank our teachers. We want to thank our school staff for their hard work and for their being able to adjust so rapidly to these changing times. I listened, my grandchildren that live in Trumbull are distance learning there. And I listened to the teachers today, and it was really quite interesting to see them interacting with the children. It's not easy, but they're keeping the children's attention. And I wanted to say thank you to our teachers and our faculty, and again, wish them a successful year. Thank you very much. And Ms. Smith, I will turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to add one thing to your comments about the opening of school, which is to commend Dr. Estrella today for her efforts and encouragement and getting out this morning, starting off at the bus depot and meeting with and encouraging our bus drivers, getting to, I don't know that she got to every school today. I'm not sure that, that was possible to get in today, but I know that she made every effort to get to every school. She was there for the custodians, as well as the teachers and the administrators and the aides and everyone who's working really hard to make things work during these unprecedented times. So I just want to thank her for that face, because it means a lot to the school staff. So, and that being said, I would like to turn the consent calendar over to Ms. Johnson, who will be reading it tonight.
Thank you very much, President Smith. Here is the consent calendar for September 8th, 2020. 7A, 1, Public Works Committee. 1, approve the increase of the solid waste tip fee from $85 a ton to $90 a ton, set by the Department of Public Works fee schedule. 7A, 2A, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Titan Enterprises Incorporated for Project TMP 2020-1 ADA access and sidewalk replacement at City Hall and the Health Department for a sum not to exceed $215,775, account numbers noted. 7A to B, authorize the Chief of Operations and Public Works to execute orders on the contract with Titan Enterprises Incorporated for Project TMP 2020-1 ADA access and sidewalk replacement at City Hall and the Health Department for a sum not to exceed $21,577.50, account numbers noted. 7A, 3A, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Safety Markings Incorporated for Project TMP 2020-2, proposed pavement marking, symbols, and legends at various locations for a sum not to exceed $128,935, account numbers noted. 7A, 3B, authorize the Chief of Operations and Public Works to execute orders on the contract with Safety Markings Incorporated for Project TMP 2020-2, proposed pavement markings, symbols, and legends at various locations for a sum not to exceed $12,893, account numbers noted. 7A4, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a Fourth Amendment to the August 28, 2007 agreement for professional engineering services between the City of Norwalk and A. de Cesare Associates, PC, regarding the East Avenue reconstruction project for an amount not to exceed $91,000, in accordance with the attached scope of services dated July 27, 2020. Account numbers noted. 7A, 5A, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement between the City of Norwalk and M. Rondano Incorporated for Project DRG 2020-1, on-call drainage improvements at various locations for a sum not to exceed $954,320. Account numbers noted. 7A, 5B, authorize the Chief of Operations and Public Works to execute orders on the contract with M. Rondano Incorporated for Project DRG 2020-1, on-call drainage improvements at various locations for a sum not to exceed $95,500. Account numbers noted. 7A6, authorize the Mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement between the City of Norwalk and Onaman Kirby LLC for on-call surveying services. The agreement is for a period of 1 year at a sum not to exceed $120,000, with an option to extend for 2 additional terms of 1 year each. Account numbers noted. 7A7, Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a maintenance agreement between the City of Norwalk and Metropolitan Realty Associates, LLC, for the maintenance of the fence installed on the existing retaining wall within the city right-of-way along the length of the frontage of the property located at 1 Bates Court, adjacent to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. 7AB, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute the gift letter in order to demonstrate formal acceptance of the gift of the fence from the Lockwood Matthews Mansion Museum. 7B, Health and Public Safety Committee, 1A. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all documents necessary to apply for and accept grant funds from the Department of Justice under the fiscal year 2020 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $33,741,000. 7B, 1B, authorize the police chief Thomas E. Kulhawick to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, and amendments thereto as may be necessary to implement all programs through the fiscal year 2020 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant pursuant to such grant funding. 7B2, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all agreements, documents, or amendments as may be necessary to accept and implement the LiveScan device transfer agreement between the State of Connecticut Department of Energy Services and Public Protection and the Norwalk Police Department. 7B3A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all documents necessary to apply for and accept grant funds from the Connecticut Department of Transportation under the fiscal year 2021 Distracted Driving High Visibility Enforcement Grant in the amount not to exceed $50,000. 7B3B, authorize the police chief Thomas E. Kulhawick to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, and amendments thereto as may be necessary to implement all programs through the fiscal year 2021 Distracted Driving High Visibility Enforcement Grant pursuant to such grant funding. 7B5, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, or amendments as may be necessary to implement the project utilizing community health workers in Norwalk COVID-19 response between the Connecticut Health Foundation Incorporated, the Family and Children's Agency Incorporated, and the City of Norwalk for the period September 1, 2020 to February 28, 2021. 7C, Land Use and Building Management Committee, 1A. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute a contract with AV Tucci Incorporated for the installation of an elevator at the Norwalk Museum for a total not to exceed $469,978, account number noted. 7C1B, authorize the Historical Commission to execute change orders on contract for a total not to exceed $47,000. 7C2A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Antonazi Associates PC to provide architectural design services for the Merrimack Elementary School Kitchen Addition project for a total not to exceed $239,200, account number noted. 7C2B, authorized to establish a contingency for additional services as may be required for a total not to exceed $23,920. 7C3A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute an agreement with Antonazi Associates PC to provide architectural design services for the Cranberry Elementary School new construction project for a total not to exceed $1,824,000, account number noted. And 7C3B, authorized to establish a contingency for additional services as may be required for a total not to exceed $91,200. And this concludes the consent calendar for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for a very well-read consent calendar, nice and clear. I will now call for a vote, roll call. Mr. Burnett?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Langella?
Aye.
Mr. Sacchinelli?
Aye.
Mr. Hoovelman?
Aye.
Mr. Roberts?
Aye.
That was an aye.
Aye.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Kites?
Yes.
Mr. Theodoridis? Mr. Theodoridis?
He's muted.
I know. I'll come back.
Sure.
Mr. Keegan?
Yes.
Sirenidis?
Yes.
Mr. Livingston?
Yes.
Ms. Shanahan?
Yes.
And let's try Mr. Theodoridis again. Mr. Theodoridis, please unmute. There you are.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Theodoridis.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. The consent calendar passes unanimously. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. And I think the only item off the consent calendar is item 7B4. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And that comes back to you, Ms. Smith.
Actually, to Mr. Sachinelli.
Oh, it comes back to Mr. That's right. Sorry, Mr. Sachinelli. My apologies.
Oh, of
Mr.
course. Thank you.
Sachinelli, item 7B4.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So through COVID, there's been a lot of cost and personnel constraints to align with the needs of the city, and a lot of that fell on our health department. And kind of with that backing, it's my pleasure to read 7B4 and move this item. Authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to execute any and all documents necessary to apply for and accept funds from the Connecticut Department of Public Health in the amount of $493,298 for the period beginning May 19th, 2020 through November 17th, 2022 for the enhanced detection, response, surveillance, and prevention of COVID-19. This is kind of comes at a ideal time. We're implementing a lot of services. We have Deanna here, Deanna Diamore, our health director, to speak to this. But from both a personnel standpoint and a budgetary standpoint, this is a fantastic item to receive for the city. Deanna, would you like to make a comment?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Sachinelli. So again, I'm really pleased to report that we were notified by the Connecticut Department of Public Health that they've allocated funding to support local public health across the state related to our response to COVID-19. And so based on our population and our population that's living in poverty, we have been allocated $493,298 over a 30-month time period. So this dates back to May of this year and it goes through November 2022. And the money is pretty flexible. It allows us to determine what is needed in Norwalk to continue to support COVID-19. And so we're looking at utilizing this funding to support work for contact tracing, immunization moving forward, surveillance, just really continuing to track and stay on top of COVID-19 and be able to move through the next phases of all of this.
Thank you.
So Mr. Sachinelli has moved the item. Is there any other further comment or discussion? Seeing none, Ms. King, if you will take a roll call vote.
Mr. Burnett,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Langella,
Aye.
Mr. Sachinelli,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Huberman,
Aye.
Mr. Roberts,
Aye.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Kides,
Yes.
Mr. Theodoridis,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan,
Yes.
Mr. Sirenidis,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Ms. Shanahan,
Yes.
passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there any further motions?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Sirenidis, motion to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? I didn't think so. Abstentions? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Night.
Good night.
Night, everybody.